What if I told you that you have been running on a script you wrote when you were 9 years old? Not metaphorically, like literally. The operating system currently in charge of your relationships, your career, your parking lot strategy. 9-year-old you. The one who thought Lunchables were a complete meal and cried at commercials. Well, our guest today says that 95% of what's playing in your subconscious right now isn't even yours. It's a hand-me-down belief system from a third-grade teacher or an ex, or it might be your mother-in-law. And here's the part that broke my brain a little. She says the reason you can't hear the universe talking back to you isn't because it went quiet. It's because you keep telling it exactly what you don't want. And it is a very, very good listener. I believe you are personally implicated here because apparently it's going to be impossible to find a parking space is basically a prayer. So if any part of you suspects that the life you're living might be someone else's rough draft, stick around because today we are going to hand you the pen. My name is Will.
And I'm Karen.
And unlike Mulder and Scully,
we both want to believe.
So we've embarked on a journey of discovery.
We've talked to people deeply entrenched in the spiritual and metaphysical world.
We've thrown ourselves into weird and wonderful experiences. I even joined a coven of witches.
And wait, you joined a coven?
Yep, all in the interest of finding something.
Anything.
That will prove that there's something beyond this physical,
three-dimensional world we all live in.
This is the Skeptic Metaphysicians. Hey there, I'm Will.
And I'm Karen.
Welcome back to the Skeptic Metaphysicians, the show that takes spirituality seriously enough to ask the dumb questions that nobody else will. You're welcome.
I thought there were no dumb questions.
Probably not. Okay. But we're still asking them anyway. Karen, I want you to think about the last time that you tried to change someone. A partner, a family member, a coworker. How'd it go for you?
Well, you're still here, so it went pretty well.
Well, I guess today has a pretty uncomfortable theory about that. She says you have been so busy trying to edit everyone else's story that you forgot you're holding the pen to your own. Ooh. And not in a bumper sticker kind of way. She means literally, like your thoughts, your words, the energy you're dragging into every room. They're actively writing the script of your life right now in real time, whether you are paying attention or not. Here's the part that got me, though. She says most of us aren't even living our own story. We're living a rough draft that we wrote when we were 9 years old and we never went back to revise it. So if you've ever felt like your life is happening to you instead of by you, and you're ready to stop being a background character in your own existence, boy, do we have the perfect person for you today. Welcome to the show, Brenda Lee Mattausch. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Especially because I may or may not be, I can neither confirm nor deny that I'm one of those 9-year-olds who wrote the story and never went back to it. So I'm looking forward to writing my own story.
See, now I wrote the story, but it veered off into a different path. And then the end result is kind of like yours, but I became a mother, so then you kind of become invisible. So we have two different stories that kind of have a similar situation. Can you help us?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, basically we're writing our script every moment of every day. Most of the population is just doing it unconsciously. And I'm here to help bring some awareness to the unconscious patterns, thoughts, words, and really emotions that are happening within you. And all of that within you is surrounding you every day to come back to see yourself.
That is profound. What if you don't like what you see when you look at it and you see it?
Yeah. So part of the journey of the beautiful soul, who is a human evolutionary journey, is to evolve into loving and liking every single part of your journey. And so if you don't like what you see, then there is a belief system, a narrative playing, a program that probably doesn't even belong to you, that your mind is feeding you something about yourself that you don't like. And it's not true. It never was, and nor it can be, because the divine light that you are is perfect in every single moment. It can't get it wrong because it's just in an experience.
You talked about when you kind of look in the mirror and you don't see yourself, or you haven't for a while. What if you don't even think to look in the mirror? I think that's what's happened with me. Like so much time has gone by and I don't even think about it anymore. You just kind of follow that, continue with that hamster wheel.
Yeah, so I used to be like that, where I didn't want to look in the mirror, but I found that, the entire world is a mirror of us. Imagine if you had a thought of, I'm XYZ and you're in your house alone for 5 years and you never left the house and you never spoke to anybody. You wouldn't see yourself unless you actually looked in a mirror, but that wouldn't tell you anything. It wouldn't give you feedback, right? The only feedback that you would get by looking in a mirror in your bathroom is what's programmed in your mind, in your belief system, how you talk about yourself. And it's usually a self-critic, right? But if you never left your house for 5 years, you'd have zero feedback. The only way you get feedback to see who you are is to go out into the world. And when you stop looking out at everybody with judgment, even when it's joking, and you start saying, what are they showing me in me? You can absolutely see that everybody is a mere reflection of you, helping you get to where you're going. Even if they look stuck to you, take the gift and let them be who they are, right? So the very question that you don't want to look in the mirror is why wouldn't you want to look in the mirror? Like, we're fascinating beings. We're incredible. Look at our systems, how we function and move through life. Why wouldn't you want to just stare at yourself and go, I live on planet Earth. It's a little kooky down here, but I'm doing great.
Well, some of us are more than others in terms of like if we fill that mirror a little bit more than others, right? So,
Well, no, I'm even thinking like even past that. Like it's not that you don't want to, you just don't think about it. It just doesn't even occur to you to look in the mirror. I think that's kind of
living life unconsciously, kind of.
Yeah, you're just doing and the next thing, and you're just not even thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, the first step to understanding who you are, know thyself, is to look in the mirror and look at your body and start questioning your mind and hear your voice and what am I saying all day? And do I show up the way I say? Am I a embodiment of how I live? Is there a glitch in my own system? But yeah, it always starts with us. It has to, because we're here to have self-awareness. The only way we come back to the whole of the creation, the light that's in everything, all that is and ever will be, is to come back to who we are. And then we kind of light the path for the rest of them to know it's okay, right? Some of us are way showers and light workers that go ahead and do the work, right?
Yes. However, in the world these days, it's a lot harder to maintain that way shower, light worker mentality because we are constantly being bombarded by really stupid crap that people are doing out there. And by stupid, I mean, obviously, things that are not in the best interest of all of humanity.
Unkindness, hate,
Yes.
fear-based,
So,
things divisive.
so when you're faced with things like this, how do you, I know you said that it's a mirror to us, right? Where it's a reflection of us that we see in others. How is that possible? If we see others being so unkind, and yet I mean, I hope I'm not unkind like that. So it's hard for me to wrap my head around that.
So first of all, you said it's hard
Yes.
to be a light worker, way shower, do the work. Right there, you wrote your script that it's going to be hard.
Ah.
See, as you speak it, you are the creator. And if you're the creator and you believe it, then everything you speak creates the next clip in your reality, because everything's coming from within for you to see yourself, right? And so that's the number one thing that I would make sure that I don't say that life is hard and this is hard and that is hard, because you never claim what you don't want. You don't speak into existence what you don't want. That's how much power you have, honestly. Okay.
But I go around telling myself I'm the best tennis player ever, and it never happens.
Because you don't believe it.
Or have a racket.
Or a tennis ball. But
Yeah, I mean, we can make fun of it, and that's fine. I'm all about making fun and having fun. But if we're getting down to, the heart of the matter, and we're getting down to the truth, we control every scene of our script. And look, you can't just say, I'm going to dismantle my mind and I'm going to listen to my words and I'm going to open my heart and I'm going to take action in one day. It doesn't work that way, right? You have to select the one that's kind of your biggest obstacle. What are you struggling with the most? Are you struggling with self-confidence? Are you struggling with how I speak to myself? Are you struggling with how you react to the world, right? You have to pick one and then you start working with it. And once you start working with it, you'll start to see the proof that you're in the same house, but inside of you shifted. And when you go out, everything around you shifts. People respond to you differently. They don't know, did you change your hair? Do you have new makeup? Did you lose weight? They don't know what it is. It's an energetic shift of how you now are showing up. And this happens over time, little by little, and little by little becomes a lot.
So by working on it, do you mean just be aware of the things that you're saying and things like that? Or is it, I'm assuming it's much more to it than just that,
Well, yeah, I mean, you definitely need to be impeccable with your word. You must be. You need to hear yourself speak. I talk out loud. And when I was dismantling my own egoic program that I didn't agree with anymore, that didn't make sense to me, that had been with me for 49 years and I just didn't believe it, I started questioning everything. It couldn't answer me because the program can only answer what's been deposited. And if I want to go over here and haven't been there before, it just puts up fear, but it has no validity for that fear. So I questioned everything, right? And once you start realizing that most of the things that are playing 95% in the background in your subconscious that are creating your reality aren't even yours. They're belief systems that were handed down to you by a school teacher or a friend or an old boyfriend or their family or a mother-in-law, whoever it is, right? Your family. You start to just go, oh, well, that got me to here, but that's not going to serve me with the desires that I have. And you just start testing it. I promise you it works. But first you got to dismantle. It's like you got to get the robber breaking in the house in the act. You got to hear yourself say it so many times that you go, I can't believe I keep saying that. That's not my thought and word. Why am I doing it?
Okay. Go ahead.
That's step one. But I want to get back to a question that you had asked about the reflections, and I was thinking about that the same too. If you consider yourself, or you do kind gestures, and you talk about love, and that's what you put out, but you see this toxicity and people being unkind. How do you see that reflection and take that as a reflection of you, or how do you work with that?
Yeah. So, don't take anything literal. And nothing is as it seems. These are the two rules that you need to start practicing, right? And so when you see things out in the world that aren't you, that aren't aligned with you, that are just sad, darkness, evil, whatever your word is, it's contrast to who you are. You have to know that, right? The mirror is, why are you attaching yourself to something that you don't like? Why are you in the news? Why are you scrolling? Not only why are you scrolling and watching it, but you're delivering it to somebody else who didn't scroll and see it. That adds to the collective narrative that's playing in that script, which is darkness or low vibration or negative vibration. In that moment, and you'll play and go back and forth. I mean, it's a duality planet. You wouldn't even know that you were in the light unless you saw somebody in the dark. You wouldn't even know what it felt like to be happy unless you had a sad day. This is the human experience. The soul wants to experience everything that it can. It just doesn't want to hang on to it too long. It wants to receive the experience, find an awareness of itself in that experience, and then move on. It wants to be in motion as energy is. But people get stuck and then they play victim and they blame. And then if you're blaming the government for everything they're doing, but you're not changing things inside your four walls and inside your psyche, then you're adding to that collective narrative. It's not tit for tat. There's like two frequencies, love and fear. Which one are you vibrating in every day?
I love that.
Yeah, I do too. And like for us, we can understand that, and there's things that we can actively do. But I'm thinking we have a daughter in high school, and she's a freshman in high school, and she has been in private school in like these very small environments that are very well controlled, teachers very involved, and so now she's in this huge public school with just so many kids. It's hard, thousands of kids, and so she comes home. Not every day, but like almost every day, other day saying, oh my gosh, Mom, you should have heard the way this person said to this person. Or like she tells me these stories of things that she sees. How do we teach her at a young age? Because now's when she really needs to know to work with that and not, because she's not talking about people being mean to her, but she's seeing it.
She's
she's witnessing it.
Yeah.
So what does she do with that?
So she has an astute awareness. I had it too, right? And so I would advise her to observe, not absorb. Right? If she can learn to observe what she's seeing with all of these kids, which could be quite overwhelming, I'm sure in high school, I wouldn't go back for anything.
Ditto.
If she could just learn to observe the behavior, observe what's going on, and in that moment, rather than absorbing the story and coming home and giving it to you, determine in that moment, would this hurt me or help me? Would this group of girls be a good fit for me or not? Are they showing me contrast, or is there a resonance there? Am I attracted to that energy, or am I just observing it as a choice in the candy store that I don't want to pick?
Yeah, her thing is that she wants to help the victim, always the person that's being, like she, wants to pull them apart, and she will. She'll go up and she'll grab someone. Hey, come over here. I want to show you something, and kind of change the whole topic. But
savior mentality.
Yeah, but that's that's gonna be really tough on her too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I was very empathic and still am. And in school, I wanted to rescue and help and fix and save. And I felt everybody's sadness, and I fought for the underdog, and I was always doing that. And, that's a beautiful thing. Her heart, right? She's in her heart, and that's really sweet. But you've got to teach her that she's not the savior of everybody else. Yeah. And it's okay for her to feel and want to help, because this is such a beautiful quality that we get to experience. But just make sure that she doesn't ever give away herself. Don't empty your own cup to fill another. Make sure that she's aware, am I saving them because I feel sorry for them, or am I lacking something in myself? The rescuer, it takes on a lot of momentum at this age. Yeah. And you don't want her to fall into the hamster wheel on that, because it's hard. It took me 49 years to get off the hamster wheel doing that.
And I would say, actually, there's a lot of people right now who are way older than our daughter who are in that as an adult, going through the motions. So if this resonates with you, whether you're a kid or a grown up, it's very relevant to you, Karen.
Bus, meet Karen.
Yeah, there's no teenager in high school.
I'm just saying, right? Yeah.
No, there
friend.
is. And she's just like me.
She's asking for her daughter.
That's okay. We can use your daughter as the example for the whole podcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad, but she is too.
Yes.
I mean, not bad, but
So, phrase comes to mind: chip off the old block, or apple from the tree. I don't know, but no, but it's great advice, and close to what we have already told her. But the phrasing that you used, observe, don't absorb. That is, I'm going to write it somewhere so she sees it everywhere all the time. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and just, is this hurting me or helping me? How does it, so if she came home and told you something, just say, okay, you just told me that. How does that make you feel inside? Oh, it made me feel icky. Okay, well, don't attach yourself to things that feel icky. I tell people, just don't deliver me that news. When people that give me something icky, I'm like, if I want the news, I'll watch it. I don't need you to deliver that to me, right? I turned the news off 10 years ago. I have no idea what's going on in the world. It's a really wonderful place to be, right? And people deliver me what I need to know.
Well, I think the kitten was actually rescued from the tree. And so what do you say to people that say that this sounds dangerously close to just thinking positive thoughts?
Yeah. So, I'm not naive, and it took me a long time to get to the point. But yeah, positivity has a lot to do with it in a sense, but I'm talking truth, right? And my truth won't look like your truth, right? Only you know. But if you have a program playing in the background on repeat, which is patterns and habits, and it's kind of like when you get in your car, you don't think, how am I going to start the car and drive? You're just on autopilot all day.
Yeah.
You kind of mentioned that earlier, right? That you don't have time to look in the mirror. Look, life is really busy. And that's okay. It's supposed to be for some, right? But the whisper inside, it's a soft sound that only you can hear and feel. And if you're not making space for it throughout the day, you probably won't hear it for a long time. And so it's not about being positive. Certainly, I choose to live a positive life in the light where I see hope for humanity as a collective. But I'm aware that there's stuff out there, and I keep myself informed and protected, but I just don't give it my energy, because whatever you put your energy to, it just amplifies it. That's how powerful you are, right? And I know there's enough people in front of the TV at 6 p.m. every night worrying about what's going on in the world, even though it's been reported the same thing for 14 days in a row. I just don't need to hear things more than 2 minutes and go, okay, I see what's going on. I'm good.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's not positive. It's living from a place of, do you want to be in denial, or do you want to know what's going on?
Yeah, no, I'm a headline reader. That's all I need. I know keep myself apprised of what's going on in the world by reading the headline. But I don't got to dive in any further than that, because it's too much for me anyway.
Yeah.
That is a great way to live. I've very often talked about how we are here for a reason. We're here to experience everything. We're in a duality planet. The whole thing. We need to have the good with the bad. Everything. It's part of the experience for us. However, how would you suggest, with the world going as fast as it's going, we are moving 1,000,000 miles an hour. How would you suggest being able to monitor yourself all the time? How do you put your feet on the ground and remember to not think that bad thought all the time?
Yeah. Well, first, you have to make a commitment to yourself that you really want it. Because if you don't really want it, the mind wins. Because the mind thinks it's protecting you from something out there that's unknown. And I run towards the unknown and change. My mind cannot stop me at this point, right? And so when you commit to yourself, you just start with one thing. And you can just ask your mind, tell me the one thought that you want me to hear all the time. You can start working with it and speaking out loud. And when you hear something that's not yours, you have to catch yourself when you hear it or you say it. And if you took 20 minutes at the beginning of every day, how do I start my day? And you were in silent and you just listened to your thoughts, you would be like, why would I even think that? Because that's playing in the background. So once you start doing that work, you start validating or not validating it. You question it. Where's that thought coming from? Right. How do I know that? Tell me what I don't know. There's no answer, because your mind won't tell you what you don't know, right? And so there's techniques to use to start doing it. And once you do the work, you'll want to do it, because you'll catch yourself saying stuff and thinking stuff all day that don't belong to you. And it'll become a really fun game. It really will. I did it.
The game of risk. So how do you, when we were talking about your soul and then the things that you say to yourself, is it your soul that you have to change how it talks to you, or is it your ego? And if it's your ego, how do you get the two of them on the same channel?
Yeah. So so the soul is starting to remember. This is what we're seeing in the Great Awakening here, huh? The soul inside, it's starting to remember right? We're in the grand illusion, right? Maya, the grand illusion. And so the mind has power in the illusion of the matrix because it's been programmed and it's just like a computer, right? It's just running on autopilot. The soul starts to remember that I have a little more power than that. When you start questioning everything and dismantling this darn egoic program, you have an intellectual mind that is so brilliant and so beautiful, right? And what happens is there's a heart coherence that happens. The heart already has all the codes of what you should be doing in life. It already knows the way. There's so many trajectories that could get you to that final point. You can't make a wrong turn. You're gonna, no matter what you do and what you go through, you're gonna get to that end point that the soul came here for the evolutionary experience. And so the soul's not attached to good, bad, right, or wrong. When the soul starts remembering, it will give you pulls and nudges, right? And it's always from love. It's never, ever from criticism. The criticism is the programmed mind thinking that it's protecting you from this unsafe place to go in the unknown, in the void, and try something new. And you've got to break down that program and question everything and say, that's not my thought. Nope, I'm not afraid to do that. You can't tell me what to do. I haven't done it yet. How do you know the outcome? We're not in the future. You can't go back to the past and you cannot jump into the future. In the present moment right here is when you make all the changes, and you make changes through self-awareness. That's the only way you get there.
Right. You talk about the heart-mind coherence, right? Is that something that you can feel in your body?
Oh, yeah.
So how does that feel? What does that feel like exactly?
It feels incredible, and it's safe, and it's unlimited, and there's zero fear. You're just going to live and be joyful, and it happens inside. And once you touch it, you don't give it up. You don't give it up to anybody, right? And so there's a process that happens with these practices that I offer. A lot of people have practices. They're just tools in your toolbox, you know, and everybody will be drawn to somebody who resonates with them, and it's divine timing. And when you do that work, you'll just, well, for me, I was laying in bed and I heard my mind say something that was kind of like startling to me, that my mind, because I had been doing so much work, and I heard my heart say, no, dear, it's okay. And then I heard my mind surrender and go, oh my gosh, you're totally right. And I heard this conversation inside, and I was like, oh, I just reached heart-mind coherence. It was like so magical because I had read about it and I was doing the work, and it just happened because everything's happening in here. It's all happening inside.
You know, I think I felt that the other day, but it turns out it was just indigestion.
Hey, you know, however your heart's trying to talk to you, it might be a little pound of acid reflux. You know what I mean?
Pay attention to me.
Knock, knock, knock. Wake up.
Yeah, that may or may not be why I carry Tums around. You know, I'm just saying. But, now, you also talk about the quantum field always communicating with us. You say that it's always talking to us, always sending us messages. Why can't I hear it?
Yeah, so it's not, you know, sending you messages. It's responding to everything you're putting out. Right? So if you're not holding space to listen to what you're saying, how can you hear what the quantum field is saying, right? If you're tuned into the outer world, which is all the noise and the chaos and the TV and the scrolling and the news and the headlines and all that, then that's all you can hear, because what you put your attention to, you get more. By the way, the quantum field is created by all of us. It's designed to work of our free will. And so it's neutral. It's not mad at anybody. It gives you what you put out. The minute you make a shift, you'll test it. You'll see the proof. It has to appear. Whatever you decide to put your attention to that's new, it will appear and show it to you. So it's moving in its motion around us at all times. It never turns off. It's absolutely happening in real time.
Well, it's interesting. You mentioned that you say that we created, but I was always under the impression that the quantum field was everything and we were just a part of it.
Well, we come from the one creation of all. So the way I view life is we are the spark of creation itself. Some people call it God, source, creator, the divine, right? It doesn't matter what it's called and labeled. This is what separates us is all these labels and words. And I call it this in my religion and my belief system. And all of that is perfect for the person that wants to have that play, that script, right? But I just work with how I see everything for myself. And then obviously I'm in service to share this wisdom with all those that are open to receive it. You know, nobody has to believe anything I say. I say test it. But if you're not dismantling your program, you're not going to see a lot of results because this has power.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to listen to the quantum field, what should we be looking for?
Yeah, so the quantum field is every thought, every feel, your emotions, and everything you speak. So you could test it. You know, a lot of people test it with, I want front row parking. That's a good one. And then I tell people, you got to graduate past front row parking.
Wait,
When you see it work a few times, you got to step it up and ask for something new. How many times do you need to get front row parking,
We
right?
can get front row parking? I've been doing it wrong all along.
Because you're thinking, I don't want the worst parking spot. And it's just hearing the worst parking spot.
Is that, yeah.
Should we have our guest answer the question?
I was just commenting.
You're way too smart for me, Karen. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, she's absolutely right. I have people say all the time, "Oh, you know, I said this, and then you know, I had the worst day." And I'm like, "Well, according to the universe, you had a perfect day because you created it, and you get what you want."
Right.
It's just how it works,
So then
right? But you got to test it.
Is it a belief system? Like you believe you're going to get front row parking?
Yeah. So I know.
Oh, so it's a knowing.
I know now, right? But you start with a little bit of curiosity outside your comfort zone, right? Be a little curious that you don't understand anything that person's saying, but they said one little thing that you're going, a little curious. But with that curiosity, you start asking questions. From those questions, you start seeing a little bit of results. That changes your belief system. Once it's happened a few times, you're in the knowing. Now you're claiming. Now you're claiming. You're living from a space of claiming.
And yesterday, we got front row parking. Thank you very much. We went to go pick her up, and you're like, it's going to be packed. I'm like, you never know. It's a Tuesday. There's not a lot of people there. We're going to get a spot on the street.
Okay, which brings me up to another point on that whole thing.
You claimed it. You claimed it.
She did, but I said the complete opposite. There's no way, right? So which one? So obviously she won, so she speaks to the quantum field way better than me. So, but the question is, when you have two opposing willingnesses or whatever, how does the quantum field know what to give them?
Yeah, so the quantum field is this. It's it's right here. See it, feel it, touch it. It's right here. Okay. It's not this ear in the sky. Don't separate yourself from it. Right?
Okay.
We are living inside this energy and motion that is the creation itself. And that spark of creation is within you. Now, if there's two of you, you know, it's going to be a play on words. It's going to be on play. Who was driving? Who said it longer?
Me.
Who was but who really believed, like if her energy was like, we're going to get it, that can overpower you, right? So, and by the way, it's not even, I don't even like that word overpower. It's just, if you don't start witnessing yourself as, wow, I said I couldn't get it. Do I do that a lot? Why do I do that? She said we could and we did. Okay, I'm just going to practice, both of us. Let's just practice this. Test it. Test everything I say. I don't listen to anything I say until you test it for yourself, right? Just play in the unlimited field of potential.
Right. Yeah. Well, the one thing I am really good at is bending time.
You are.
Right. So I'm really good at, we got to be there in 10 minutes.
It's a 15-minute ride.
Right. But yeah, just don't look at the clock. Just believe you're going to get there on time. And inevitably, I think every single time, knock on wood, we get there in time.
And you're not like flying down the road.
I'm not. I'm just driving regularly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So do you believe that you're doing that, or do you know you're doing that now?
No, I know. I'm doing it because
Okay,
I've done
so
it enough times.
There you go. So if you know you can do that, can you do anything? Because
No, that's about it.
No, but I mean, you're moving time itself,
Yeah, that's pretty big.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what's a little parking spot?
I mean, you're not wrong, right? You got a great point, but it's a big leap for me, only because I've been doing the bending time since I was in my 20s. So it's just, I guess, to your point, it takes a little bit of time getting to the point where you get to get the parking spot.
Well, if you don't try and you just say, I'm not, how are you ever going to know?
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
And also, I said earlier, if you know you get the parking spot, why do you keep trying for the parking spot? If you know you can bend time, why don't you just check it off the list and that's on autopilot? That actually is on autopilot. You think you're doing it, but because you know it, it has to come in.
Right. No, you're not wrong. Here's the thing. The reason why I'm having a hard time with it is because probably I don't want to be disappointed when I know I'm going to get the parking spot and it's not flipping there. Then
Because
that's
you
the hard
don't know
part.
it. That you're testing.
No, I know.
You're like, I know it, and it's.
But you got to test it somehow, right?
Well, yeah, but you're not testing your belief. You're testing the universe. Like, if you're really real, give me the parking spot.
You're not
feel
testing
like-
the universe. You're testing your own capability.
Own powers.
And if you're attached to outcomes and you want XYZ, then you're not in the flow of the duality universe, right?
Ooh, now you're speaking my language. Okay, you're talking surrender. You're allowing the universe to take you to whatever's best suited for you at that particular point in time. So maybe we just need to walk off the calories from dinner, and that's why we didn't get the parking spot in the front. That you're saying?
I mean, it could be a million different things, right? What I'm saying is that if you're going to start your question with skepticism, then the universe is going to give you skepticism.
Right. You've already lost. Right.
Yeah.
You've already lost.
Right.
All right. So if you want to change the way you're showing up in your own reality, then you've got to make a commitment to come in with no attachment and literally doing the homework and trial and error and see what works for you. And did I have a really bad day? And then I was pretending to be happy. And you've got to test it. Know thyself, right?
Yeah, that's the rub.
Well, I've been having some interesting experiences lately where things will show up before I know I need them. You know, it's like, I think it was today, I was doing something and I saw this pair of clippers. I'm like, well, that's a weird pair of clippers. And then I went and there was a tag that I couldn't get off my shirt. And I'm like, oh, clip? You know, or like it was just weird. Like, I don't know why the clippers were there.
Yeah.
But that's stuff like that's been happening a lot recently.
So, that's really good. I love stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
fun, right?
Yeah.
Because so once you're dismantling your program and you're commanding your new belief system, right? And then you're feeling that I don't know how, but this feels really good. And you're putting forth new actions, the universe starts showing up. You actually are a different version of yourself, right? You'll exist in 50 people's minds the last time they saw you 3 months ago, but you've shifted. So the next time they see you, they'll think something's off because your awareness has shifted. Your conscious awareness has shifted. You still live in the same house, right? But you see yourself differently in the play. And so once you get to that point, you'll start seeing that your script has already been written for you.
Oh.
Right? When you stop writing the script from the egoic program, you'll see that there's several trajectories where the script has been written for you to get to this point, to have all these experiences from a soul, the remembrance of the soul. And things will start, you'll have little Mandela effects and things will start showing up to let you know, I got you. That's the quantum field communicating, saying, I got you. You don't even need to ask for it.
Oh, man. You are in the flow. I'm so jealous.
I was just going to say jealous.
So jealous. Yes, I am jealous. So does that mean that we can create anything we want? We can make anything happen? Anything. Isn't that dangerous?
Well, so what's happening in the collective right now with the darkness and the control and the stuff that's coming to the surface? Isn't that dangerous?
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Because so if I told you that just watching all of that and talking about it is feeding the monster,
I
that's
believe it.
dangerous, right?
Yeah, I believe
And
it.
so if you just know that you want to create a new collective, we have to become the change we want to see for the whole first. Somebody's got to be the lighthouse on the shore to let the boats come in, right? And so each one of us every day, we do the best we can, right? The 4 agreements, right? Be impeccable with your word to yourself and others. Don't take anything personal. Boy, that's a good one, right?
That's a
That's a hard one.
That one took me 49 years, right,
Yeah.
to learn that one. And then don't assume anything about anyone or anything out there. Observe, don't absorb.
Right.
And fourth, do the best you can every day. Stop criticizing yourself. Stop questioning. Just let the soul have the experience without critiquing it, judging it, and putting it in a box and labeling as right or wrong. The soul just wants to have the experience. And when you're done with that, just turn this way. Say, universe, open up a new trajectory, show me new things. And you have to be present to watch for the beautiful synchronicities and signs.
So I'm hearing that our thought processes, our words, they're building our reality. They're creating our reality as we go. The collective consciousness is creating the shared experiences that we're having, that kind of thing. Sometimes that can be hard to accept to someone whose life is less than ideal. Right? When you say to them, you are creating your own reality, and yet this person is experiencing all manner of things that are probably you hate to see anyone experience. How do you talk to them and say and help them to understand that it's them that's creating it? Or could it be that they're not creating it, but someone else did? Because you said we can make anything happen. So could someone else be manifesting that for that person?
No, another can manipulate the situation, right? Control and manipulate, but they can't manifest on your behalf, right? And so, yeah, if somebody's really going through it, the problem is I call it a loop. They're in the loop. And if they're having a terrible life and they don't like where they're at, then they're in this loop of playing the victim. Now, some might say rightfully so because it's XYZ. I get all that, right? It's a personal journey for each person and there's no magic pill, right? And we don't do therapy. We get down to the heart of the matter of the truth. And when somebody's really ready to do the work, we've got to show them how they're playing victim. And yes, you were handed a part as a victim, but do you want to remain a victim? And if you don't change the way you're thinking about your life and you don't change the words and you keep showing up as a victim, the universe loves you. It's going to keep on repeat. So you have to use some tools to get them to see. And usually they have to have proof. Everybody wants proof, right?
Yeah.
And so you give them enough tools and you hope they commit and they get the proof they need. They come back and then you work with them. And I've had a lot of people that can literally, at the first, they think I'm crazy. And then they come back to me and go, oh my God, you saved my life. And I said, no, you saved your life. You did it. You did the work. You committed. You're the one that cared about you enough finally to say no to everything in the field and create something new. But it's a process and it's a commitment.
So how do you handle someone who for some reason wants to stay in victim mentality, who's not ready to do the work? Do you just say, sorry, come back to me whenever you come around?
You let them.
So you just let them be the victim.
You let them be, let everybody be who they want to be because they're in their experience and they haven't learned enough. They're not ready to graduate.
But let's say that they are around all the time and they're kind of bringing they're bringing the bummer down, right?
Are you talking about me?
No.
Okay, I'm like, I'm around all the time. Like, what do you mean?
No, but someone who's like in your friend group or something like that, or worse, your family. And every time that they're around, they bring the buzz down, right? So
So are you speaking, if you have a friend that's coming into your reality and they're bringing the buzz down, you don't have boundaries.
because you're allowing the buzz to come down.
Because you're allowing them, because nobody can bring your buzz down. Nobody can touch you when you're solid in here. But if you're still trying to appease or please or walking on eggshells around somebody, you haven't set a boundary. And a boundary is not a bad thing. A boundary is never set for the other person, by the way. To forget that. If you try to set a boundary for them and you want their approval and you want them to like it, you're never going to set a boundary in your life. And you don't set a boundary to punish. You don't set a boundary to tell them you're mad at them. You set a boundary that this is how I live my life. This is what I choose for me. I love you. And if you don't see how I'm living and I'm going to see you how you're living and we don't try to change each other, then we can be around. But if you're going to act this way, this is not going to work for me, right? And we're not trying to change the person, but we're talking toxic behavior here. Sometimes you just got to let everybody be in a bad mood, right?
Sure.
But it sounds like you're talking about when it drags you down. That sounds toxic to me.
Yeah.
And that's because you haven't set a boundary that this just doesn't work for me anymore. And they'll say, well, you used to. And I'll be like, yeah, I used to tolerate a lot. And I just chose not to anymore, right?
So it's about drawing the line in the sand that you won't cross. And it's and not allowing. I mean, I'm thinking of, let's say, a family situation where it's hard to let go of that family member and saying, sorry, but I can't be around you anymore because you are choosing to remain in victim mode, and I choose not to be around that.
Yeah. What if you wouldn't even have an opportunity to set a really good boundary for yourself unless your family member was acting that way? What if the mirror that's a double mirror for both of you, what if it's your job to catch your ball on what they're teaching you to expand your conscious awareness of your own experience for your own evolution? And maybe if you get it first, you can one day hold that as the role model and let them leave and let them be them and don't try to change them and show them what it looks like when they're ready to come towards the lighthouse.
So that's the thought process, that everyone is a teacher. Everyone has something to teach you. And
well, we're teachers and students in every moment. I'm a student.
Yeah.
I only teach what I learn on myself, and I actually embody this work, right? It changed my whole life, and I'm in service now to teach those. But I have clients that, they don't understand it, they don't believe it, and they don't want to do the work. And I say, I'm totally fine with that. Like, I love you just the way you are. Do you love you the way you are? And then they'll come back a year later and say, I went and spent all this money, went to all these people, and now I'm coming back to you. Let's get to work. They just weren't ready then. And I'm okay with that. I don't take it personal. I'm just here to hold space for those that are ready to do the work. And it's not a lot of work, but it is work, to dismantle this kind of, you're in autopilot. I don't run on autopilot. I'm new. I change every day. I have new ideas, and I just want to be myself. And I wouldn't allow anybody in my life at this stage to question what kind of mood I'm in or how I'm showing up. I get to show up how I want. If you have a problem with it, the conflict is within you. And I just hand them back the ball. That's all.
That's a brave thing to do. I think I need to be a little bit braver with some people. But so let's say a full-on skeptic comes to you and says, "I'm going to give you 10 minutes with genuinely open ears." What's the one thing you want to make sure that you leave them with?
Yeah, the one thing that I would leave them with is, if you can learn to truly put yourself first in your life, if you can literally put your hands on your heart and ask questions, who am I? Why am I here? What is it all about? And you truly want to hear the answers, the soul inside of you, the remembrance, your heart, your heartbeat, right, will start to do something inside your DNA. It happens within, and the outer field will start reflecting these new things, and you'll have a thought and the answer will appear. You'll say, I want to do something. You'll go to the coffee shop and they'll start talking behind the counter about what you just said, because your script is playing out. It's letting you know there's a potential in the field. And if you can choose yourself and separate yourself from toxicity and news and just come down into some space, at least an hour a day, and commit to some practicing some actions, and you choose you, I'm pretty sure that you're going to fall in love with yourself in a way that you didn't even know was possible. And when you reach that level of love within, you won't let anybody touch it. You'll share it, but you won't give it away. And so I would invite somebody to journey within on a self-love journey without criticism. And the outer field is showing up to help you. And so any family members, any friends, there's a soul inside that beautiful being that even though they're not ready, their human is not ready to transform, that soul is beaming wisdom to your soul to help you transform.
Wow.
Every interaction is happening for you, not to you. And if you can live from that, you're going to see the proof. It has to appear. It has to.
So what are you working on now? What do you want to make sure that the audience knows that what you're doing that can help them right now?
Well, so my platform is Attuned Guidance, and the word is pretty self-explanatory. I'm here to help you attune to your own voice, your own rhythm, your own truth. It won't look like anybody else's. You're supposed to be so uniquely yours. Mm-hmm. And I do one-on-one coaching, I do group sessions, and I also do Gene Key sessions, which is kind of a soul mapping to give you a little, for somebody who doesn't know where to start, oh my gosh, why am I here? It's pretty magical to kind of give you a few tools to kind of look at and go, well, I am like this. And if you can start looking that I'm like this and I'm okay with it, your whole world will change when you just accept all parts of you, even your shadows, because the shadows are your challenges to help you become courageous and strengthful and powerful and want to make changes, right? And then I have courses that people can take that are lifetime courses that are, 20 minutes each, and they can log in on their phone or their computer and it tracks, and they're their own guru. They're their own person that scores them. And the courses that come from the tools and the techniques and the actions that I used on myself to dismantle my 49-year-old egoic program that, by the way, served me for the 49 years until the day I woke up and it didn't.
Yeah.
And in that moment, my soul decided she wanted to have a new experience from unlimited potential. And I said, I don't have a problem with it.
Oh. All right. Well, then give us that website one more time so we can put it up on screen.
Oh, attunedguidance.com.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
And then I'm on Instagram at Attuned Guidance. So yeah.
Excellent. All right. So we're going to add direct links to the website and the social media in our show notes. So all you need to do is go to skepticmetaphysician.com if you missed anything and go to her episode page. You'll see the links directly in there. So it's easy for you to connect. Brenda, this has been fascinating. Thank you so much for coming on the show and blowing our minds, because this is pretty awesome.
Well, that's
so
what
helpful.
we're doing. We're like cracking the program of the mind, because everybody's kind of just living in their mind. And if you can just get out of it a little ways, you'll determine that you don't want to live in it too often. And when you're in your heart, it just shows you the way, and it's much easier, makes life much easier.
I love that. To get out of your head, to get into your heart, live your life in that direction. You're going to find it's actually a magical life in every way. So thanks so much. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you
take
so
care.
much. Thank you.
Well, that does it for this episode of the Skeptic Metaphysicians. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this show. We know that you have many choices, and it is not lost on us that you are here. Before you go, I don't know if you've noticed, but high vibe creators like us who share these topics without the need to resort to clickbait or fear-based tactics are truly getting drowned out by those that focus on getting the click. That fear-based algorithm is out of control and making it a lot more difficult to get these messages that raise the consciousness of the planet out into the world. It's becoming harder and harder to be discovered in the sea of voices interested in our space. So if you enjoy what we're doing here, if you learned something from our podcast, or if you'd like to get this podcast ad-free delivered directly to your inbox, then please consider becoming a member of the Skeptic Metaphysicians Premium by going to skepticmetaphysician.com and signing up for our newsletter. There's a link to sign up in the show notes of this episode. If you are already a premium member of this podcast, thank you for your support. And if you're not a member, please consider becoming a patron of our work. If you want real knowledge in a world of fear-based content, it's essential to support those of us out there that are still trying to get them to you without resorting to triggering headlines and thumbnails. As always, thank you for your time and support, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Skeptic Metaphysicians.